What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel. Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, y'all. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, afternoon, evening, whenever it is, guys. So today's topic, we're going to talk about the offensive line. And let's just pull the Band-Aid off, guys. I'm going to give you the 10 players I think are fighting for real spots here. And I'll give you some nuanced explanations here. Let's just jump right into the roster. Left tackle. I'll just give you how I see the starters right now. Jordan Mailata. Left guard, Isaac Seumalo. Probably no surprises here yet, guys. Center, Jason Kelsey. Right guard, Brandon Brooks. Right tackle, Lane Johnson. Give me time to get into the nuances, guys, but all of us know that all things considered, perfect world scenario, these are probably our 5 guys going forward into the season. So the backups. This is where I think it gets interesting, guys. All right, my first backup tackle, I'm going to say Andre Dillard. And I don't think that's a certainty, guys. I mean, I think that the Eagles, if you can't get a first-round pick on the field starting, I think it's a problem, man. I don't know if they need to figure out if Andre Dillard can play right tackle and say, look, hey, man, I know you were against this originally, but you need to fight for a spot on this team. Left guard, if you're more familiar with the left side, whatever, you're going to have to fight to earn your keep. The next guy I want to give you guys is Nate Herbig. I think it's smarter to keep Nate Herbig in a reserve role, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think Nate Herbig is definitely a good 6-man off the bench, can play left guard, right guard, and center for you, but I'm not overly confident in this young man's ability to be a down-in, down-out starter, but I will say one positive for Nate Herbig. My man went out there and lost him some weight, so maybe he's going to show off a little bit more athleticism. I heard he lost about a good 20, 30 pounds, so I mean, I'm excited to see what Nate Herbig looks like in camp. I don't know if that's going to translate and work out well, but generally speaking, it's easy to keep weight off in season than it is to try to keep your weight up in season. So it may turn out to be something pretty good. Center backing up Jason Kelsey, guys, and understand you can flip and move these guys in multiple ways. Landon Dickerson. I'm going to tell you guys that I think Landon Dickerson could be a potential PUP list candidate. They could potentially put him on the physical, unable to perform. I know that's not going to be their goal going into it. They want this guy ready for week 1, but I just don't think you risk this kind of pick to injury. I think that would be a foolish move on the Eagles. Like, if he's not getting a clear medical bill of health, there's no need for this. Let's make sure this young man has a clean bill of health. Let's give this young man the adequate strength and conditioning and things that he's going to need to stay healthy in the league, because if we can keep this young man on the field, he's special. But I can't project health, guys. You guys know that. I keep saying that. I can't project health. I have no clue. After that, guys, I know this is a controversial one. I had Matt Pryor. I got Matt Pryor, and I'm not confident in that projection, right? If the Eagles cut Matt Pryor, whatever. It's kind of a whatever at this point to me. I was really high on Matt Pryor last year, and he kind of let me down. I spoke out. I tried to give Matt Pryor every due respect. I tried to talk this man's name up. I thought he played so well coming in at right guard in 2019, replacing Brandon Brooks. I really felt like this young man had been a really good, successful story of developing a guy, a 6th-round pick, and he crapped all over my parade. He didn't have a good 2020 season, guys, and it just looked like a guy that was really unprepared. I don't know if that had to do with the alter offseason, and if he's just one of those guys, but it's like, man, you're a professional. At some point, man, be a professional. I think Matt Pryor has talent, guys. Somewhere deep down in me, I still feel like this guy has talent. But I'm skeptical, guys. I'm not going to sit here and BS you. I'm skeptical. I really am. All right, last but not least, the last guy I think the core kind of basis here, core kind of being here, is Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll, what a good rookie year, guys. I mean, he's got to get stronger. I think he struggles at times to anchor against some of the stronger guys, but from a technique, kind of conversation here, I was quite shocked, man. I mean, I kind of talked to my guy, Jalen Williams, a little bit about Jack Driscoll when we kind of did our interview series, and, we were kind of talking back and forth a little bit, and we both felt like, Jack Driscoll was better than a lot than the billing, man. I mean, he played better than let's be honest with you, like a really late 4th-round pick, because it was a compensatory pick that was used on Jack Driscoll, and to be honest with you, he was nearly a 5th-round pick. I felt like he played like a guy you would expect to have plucked out of the 2nd or 3rd round. Like, I really liked what Jack Driscoll did last season. I'm pretty high on Jack Driscoll personally, guys. All right, I want to talk about the other guys that I don't feel have the greatest shot or opportunity to make the roster. You can make cases to say some of these guys like a Sua Opeta. Sua Opeta's been around for a few years. I think he's had a pretty good run here and there. It just hasn't worked out yet. But I'll say this, if you got a guy like Landon Dickerson goes to the PUP list, and then Matt Pryor you're not comfortable with, or you traded Andre Dillard, maybe a Sua Opeta gets dropped in there. because then you're probably going to use Jack Driscoll as a swing tackle. So then maybe you need a Sua Peta to pair with a Nate Herbig to kind of for the interior of the line. So there's still an outside shot, but I definitely think he's on the outside looking in right now. Luke Driga, center, right? Good young prospect. I think he came out of Western Michigan, or he came out of one of the Michigan schools. I might be wrong in that Western Michigan. I need to look that up before I sign off on that. Might have been Central Michigan, honestly. Luke Driga, center. They like him, athletic guy, but with Landon Dickerson here, with Nate Herbig on the roster and Isaac Seumalo, we got 3 guys that could easily play center. So I feel like he might be a practice squad guy, to be honest. Luke Driga. Ross Pierschbacher. Look, former SEC guy. He played at Alabama. He's a center naturally as well. I mean, we're not going to carry 100 guys that can play center. We'll probably carry a few of these guys in camp because you're going to need guys hiking the ball, no doubt about it. But at the same time, guys like Ross Pierschbacher, more of a practice squad to a cut. To me, I don't think he's a, I think he's a guy that can play special teams for you, and that does help him. Like, he played on extra points and he played on field goal attempts where he was the left tackle in those situations. So he does give you some flexibility there, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's an uphill battle for him to make the roster. And then the other guy is Brett Toth. Brett Toth, the former Army product. Brett Toth, look, man, he was a guy that the Eagles valued a lot, but I'll be honest with you, man, he looked like a guy that needed a lot more development. I think this is a practice squad guy that, maybe you'd carry on your practice squad. I wouldn't necessarily waste an active, roster space for Brett Toth. Like, I know that, we tried that once before and Arizona stole him from us, but I think this young man still needs a lot of development. I don't think you put him on the roster, guys. I think that's a mistake. But all right, guys, to hop off here, I'll give you guys some questions I want you all to consider. I want your opinion on this. I think that this is a productive, group to talk about in the comment section, right? Because you can't make certain definitive statements about the offensive line in particular, right? Because, like, I know what we were underneath Jeff Stoutland previously, a lot of outside and inside zone, a little bit of gap blocking, but mostly outside inside zone. Here's the thing. It's a new system. So I'm going to need to see a few games before I really weigh on what they're doing. But I will say some of the things to consider in the comment section that we could talk about, guys, is, look, Lane Johnson not restructuring his contract, it shocked me, guys. When Howie came out and said, look, we don't need him to do it, that rang alarm bells in my head, because that's just not, it's like, well, we could definitely use the money here. So you're basically, what you're saying, if you read between the lines here, is that even though we could use the money, not doing this benefits us more than doing it. So what's the benefit? And, obviously you can complicate a trade scenario if you keep restructuring contracts. I'm very leery of the Lane Johnson stuff here, guys. Like, Lane Johnson makes me a little iffy here. Would I love to have him on the Eagles, guys? Yes. I'm not saying he's going to get traded or any of that. I'm just saying that deep down there's something going on here with Lane Johnson. So he's a guy I'm kind of watching here to see what happens. The other guy is Andre Dillard. If Andre Dillard can't find a home as a swing tackle, he's just going to be a purely backup left tackle, like as a first-round pick, I think you try to move a guy like that. That's not ideal. You try to move a guy like that. You try to get some kind of compensation back for him. Like, there are just better ways of developing a backup swing tackle than a first-round pick. He's a guy that who knows what happens. Other than that, guys, is Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson could impact the roster. If Landon Dickerson were to be placed on the PUP list, or some kind of hindrance to start a season, I think that could definitely impact the roster because, who knows? I mean, we don't even know what the roster is going to be. Is it going to be 53, 55, or 60? Like, I'm still waiting to hear definitive answers on that. So, I mean, I think those 3 guys in particular, I think those 3 moves in particular could really impact our lineup here, right? And I don't think that Brandon Brooks is necessarily safe either, but Brandon Brooks' contract it's a different animal than Lane Johnson's, so we'll have to see what happens here, guys. All right, Joe, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Links in the description below. Don't forget to like and comment on the video. It's what spikes the algorithm and gets it suggested to other people. And last but not least, if you're not subscribed, I would love to add you to the community, but in order to do that, guys, you've got to hit the subscribe button. All right, Joe, I thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave your comments down below, guys. Let's talk about this offensive line, and I will see you all on the next video.